I'm here today, again, with thousands upon thousands of requests bothering my mind. I know you are the all-present God, dealing with us individually. I also know that no one has ever seen God before, and we were told all the time we would get to see God is when we get to heaven. So I've always wondered what it would look like when I see you in heaven. Some part of me think you would look exactly like me, and also look like the many other billions of people who would make it to heaven. Each of us seeing our faces in you in different colors and dimensions. Or maybe it would just look like you, like a million suns shining ablaze. It's true you deal with each and every one of us individually. The millions of people you attend to all over the world at the same time in diverse languages and ethnicity is beyond awesome. But sometimes I can't help to but feel guilty when I make my prayers. I'm just here disturbing you with my many problems that you have given me the capacity to solve. Just the other day, I was asking you what color of dress to wear on my purple shoes. And then, on another day, I told you to fast forward the world to the time where I am married with my 5 kids at the back of the car. And on, the many requests never end. But amazingly, I have been made to understand that you don't mind at all. You want to be in every part of my life and business. But this bothers me still. The other night, I was in the market when I suddenly heard the sound of a blast from nowhere. I didn't think much about it, and afterwards I made my prayers. Lord, what am I going to eat tonight? Not knowing that in the midst of the blast, some people were already transitioning between these mortal bodies into immortality. My stomach was on fire that night, and I remember praying silently that He would provide me a transport at the junction of my house, knowing it would be too difficult getting home since it was already late. And unsurprisingly, You answered my prayers. Of course you had to. I would nag at you all night for not attending to my needs when I needed it. But right in the middle of all that, you were also shouldering the prayers of those other people who were affected by the blast. Some mothers were praying to you to find their children, while others were perhaps praying to you to return their spouses who had gone to the grave. And right at that moment, you were also watching so many souls transitioning between this world and beyond. You came to the world to die for everyone so that none could perish. But those were also amongst the souls you had died for, barging through the gates of hell like bread and tea had been served on the table. You were just there watching those souls you had died for perishing, and here I was, wishing I had magic powers to get the biscuits on my table without standing up because I was lying lazily on my bed. So many ways we are taking the grace of the Lord for granted. He pampered us so much, yet we never get enough, never satisfied, always wanting more. And so, I keep making these unending requests with ungratefulness in my veins. I have always boasted about how God has been my best friend, who I would tell all my problems to. But never have I been His friend who would sit patiently to hear what He has to say. And even when I mistakenly stumble on what He is saying to me, like, the Spirit of the Lord is on me, because He has anointed me to proclaim freedom for the prisoners and recovery of sight for the blind, to set the oppressed free, to proclaim the year of the Lord's favor, and many more like that, is what I call a mistaken stumble, even though I know deep down that stumbling on it was not a mistake. But still, I look the other way, pretending not to understand or telling Him to make it clearer, not sure of what my assignment or purpose is exactly, even when I have seen it all. So Lord, what were the other million things you were facing while I was asking you to fix my door that got jammed when I could have easily called a carpenter? Why did you still pay attention to my silly requests even though you were at the same time watching souls you had sent me to care for perishing? There's this beggar man down the road to my house. I always wondered in my heart why he doesn't take a break and just go home, because I had always seen him at the same spot every day and night. Everything in my head was always screaming for him to just go home. But tonight as I was passing, I saw him draw his wrapper and tried covering himself up, about to sleep. And there my heart sank, having realized that was his home after all. No shelter to protect him from the rain, no clothes to keep him warm, and no family or friends to embrace him when it gets lonely. But sadly, he is just one out of the many wanderers roaming the planet all alone. And there I was, confessing every day with pride my mandate to feed the nation when I couldn't even feed the man next door. Or should I say, next doorless. I mean, I could afford it every now and then if I wanted to, but I'm still waiting for God to send me 1 billion from my future money, or else I hate even feeding the flies with my crumbs, cause there wouldn't be any leftovers until I have more than enough, I always thought to myself. But it doesn't have to be till then, right? If I am not faithful in the little things, how do I expect God to trust me with the bigger ones? If we only knew that though it might seem so little or even nothing at all, but God is truly doing a lot to keep us together. I mean, there are many different faces with individual needs, but excitedly, we have a Father who is capable of reaching us one-on-one. We have far too long underestimated those many little miracles that we have taken it for granted. And now we are running out of patience for the things we feel He hasn't given us yet. And so we put all things on hold, including His assignment for us, saying until He grants us all our unending needs, we would give Him the one thing He asks of us. We're all different people with different needs, but there's room enough for everyone to make their prayers. So when your small and big requests are being made, do not forget you are also an answered prayer. Therefore, be one to others. That's when they pray to God to give them bread, and they see you, you'll be the symbol that their supplications have been met. Though we are many, yet He is engaging us one on one.